A lot of times, the problem with the sale is not with the prospects, but with the salesperson. Are you aware? This means that if the salesperson should get rid of these two obstacles I will show you right now, it will be guaranteed that in every sale they will be able to close. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Iyore. I've trained over 24,000 salespeople across 5 countries: Nigeria, Ghana, USA, UAE, Rwanda. I'm an author of several books and resources on sales, and I've been featured on lots of media platforms to talk about successful selling. I worked at an organization where I was going to target to sell to 20 H-nights, and I was able to bring in 21 H-nights in a single month. I also participated in a sales competition where I won, and I was sent for the World Cup annual expense paid trip. I moved to another organization where I was able to double my portfolio by over 100% in just 11 months. Right now, I'm CEO for Advantage and I specialize in Salesforce management. This means we work with sales teams to help them meet their sales targets in a record time. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a continuation of our series on psychology of selling, and our focus is application of psychology of selling to crush sales targets. Are you aware that if the salesperson should take care of these two things I will show you now, every sale, every meeting this salesperson goes to, he or she will be able to close. And the first thing is getting rid of selfishness. Getting rid of selfishness. Now, these are internal things, right? These are internal challenges. And that's why it's called the psychology. Psychology is about what is going on the inside. 80% of your success in selling is psychological. 80%. Only 20% is strategy or techniques. This means that if you take care of the psychological aspects, you are guaranteed success. If you get 80% on an exam, you are guaranteed to pass that exam. Ladies and gentlemen, in what ways does selfishness manifest? The first way selfishness manifests, self-doubt. Self-doubt. Salespeople struggle with self-doubt a lot of times. They're questioning their ability to sell, questioning the ability of people to be able to buy into their product or service, questioning their ability to navigate the challenges of their economy or where they live. And these self-doubts can lead to 4 things. Number 1, it can lead to lack of self-confidence in your pitch. Because the moment you pitch and self-doubt is showing all over you. I remember many years ago, I was pitching to someone. And it was from this experience I learned this principle I'll show you now. And I was pitching to this lady. All of a sudden, I noticed that she was indecisive, but I kept talking to her, trying to listen to her, giving long pauses for her to express herself, because when a prospect is indecisive, talking more increases the indecision. So you want to calm down and let the prospects, that's what we call the silence close. The silent close means you pause and the prospect to pause and you just wait. Then you allow your words to work on the inside of the prospect, then they can make your decision. So apparently I did the pause and I was waiting. Then she looked at me. We made eye contact. And I noticed that she was staring into my eyes. What was she looking for? She was checking if there was any doubts. But I made a mistake. While she was staring at me, because I felt uncomfortable, this lady staring into my eyes, I looked sideways like this and I brought my eyes back. That was when the deal was gone. She just said, okay, you know what? Let me think about it. She's still thinking about it up to today. The point is, I took my eyes off. And that was a sign that this person didn't really believe what he was saying. And I don't want you to get into this trap. Because when I got into sales, it's not like I started at the top. I was doing well all the time. No, I started at the bottom. I struggled for a long time. It was as I started to read materials, get knowledge, I came across all these principles and I started to make corrections with a perfect routine, of which I'll show you some of the routines I put in place to make these corrections, to navigate these challenges. So if self-doubt will manifest in a lack of confidence in your pitch, it will show your body language, your eye contact. Number 2, failure to assertively address customer concerns. Even when you identify a need, selling is not talking. Selling is not trying to convince. Selling is identifying the needs of the prospects. And when you identify the need, get the solution and drop it for the prospects. That's the layman's way of saying this. So if you have a lot of self-doubt, you find that when you're even addressing a concern, someone you'll be questioning, how am I sure this thing will work? How am I sure this thing will really give the results? Jump! Take that step of faith and communicate it like you believe it. Well, you can't communicate it like you believe it the way you should if you don't really believe it. But I'm just saying, be bold about this thing. Another area where self-doubt manifests, difficulty in handling objections. I remember many years ago, there was a lady who we worked for. There was a lady we did some coaching for in a real estate company. The CEO met us and the CEO said, every time this lady gets to the end of the close and the prospect gives an objection, she just melts. She has done everything right in the sales process, but at the end of the process, when the objection arises, everything ends. Don't be that salesperson where when the objection comes, everything ends. Another area self-doubt manifests, number 4, is procrastination or avoiding sales activities. So when it's time to sell or to do the necessary things to bring the sale, going for the meetings, booking the meetings, doing the cold calling, going out to prospect, you'll be postponing it, you'll be avoiding it, and going to other simple activities. You'll find yourself, you're posting online, posting on WhatsApp status, posting on social media, just to justify yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. It's important you post. But just to justify yourself and say, at least I did something today. What's the reason for all that? Self-doubt. Another area of manifestation of selfishness, ladies and gentlemen, is in the fear of rejection. The first area of manifestation of selfishness, self-doubt. Second, fear of rejection. The fear of rejection is a natural human emotion, right? I also sometimes feel that sense of being afraid of rejection, but I confront the fear. See, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the ability to take action even when you're afraid. So fear is supposed to be confronted. I can't even count the number of times that I feel kind of tensed about whatever it is, even if it's getting on a call. Sometimes, but I move. So you want to get yourself to that point. If you don't address this fear, this is what it will cost you. Number 1, avoidance of sales calls or meetings. Like the example I just gave right now. There are calls you want to make, but somehow, for some reason, your emotions feel a certain way. You feel like, I'm not comfortable making this call right now. If you don't deal with this fear of rejection, you'll be avoiding sales calls and meetings, which will cost you sales. Failure to ask for the sale. If you have the fear of rejection, it means that when you get to the end of the close, the prospect is waiting for you to ask for the sale, ask for the money. But you find that you'll be dilly-dallying and shilly-shallying because you're afraid of him. You're afraid that he would say, let me think about it, let me get back to you. No, I'm not interested. Then, number 3, difficulty handling customer objections or concerns. This fear of rejection too goes into affecting how you handle customer objections or concerns. Then number 4, overemphasizing on building relationships. Have you heard people who say things like, it's about the relationship? For me, it's not about the fact that it's not about closing. Let me just have a relationship with this person. You see? Can you see that? They are trying to justify why they can't close. Close. After closing, there will be a relationship. Because anybody who does business with you automatically is in a relationship with you. Because it's a business relationship. But if you're not closed and you're saying, at least, you may not have bought yet, but I just want to build a relationship first. As I build a relationship, over time, they will buy. That is not how you do sales. There's a difference between business development and selling. And I will probably do a video on that. In business development, you look at it long term. You're looking at building relationships. You're looking at building partnerships, building alliances for strategic objectives in the future. The way you set up targets for business development people is not how you set up targets for sales people. But for sales, it's short term. Sales, we need the money now. We need to close now because this person is already buyer. Because marketing has done their work to create an announcement. And this person has come in line or into our purview as a lead. Why can't we close it now? Why are you trying to build relationship? Close now. You can build relationship instantly with rapport building. All right. Now, to overcome selfishness, which I've said manifests in self-doubt and fear of rejection, there are 4 things you do. Number 1, you develop a growth mindset. Focus on learning and improving rather than dwelling on failures. Constantly make up your mind that every engagement you have that doesn't go the way you planned is part of your process for your personal growth and development. Imagine if you wanted to start playing basketball and you know nothing about basketball. Are you aware that probably the first 100 shots you would take, if you're not careful, you will miss all of them. Can you miss all your shots? Now, does that mean that you can never play basketball? No. But you will just keep trying. You will just keep making adjustments. You find out, okay, am I holding the ball properly? Are my legs positioned properly? Am I shooting right? Am I shooting from my knees? I'm shooting just from my elbows. You will keep on making adjustments. Then over time, it will start to work. Seed sales that way. The second thing to overcome selfishness, build self-awareness. Realize that, see, there's a manifestation of selfishness in me. I want to do something about it. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. And according to the scriptures, love is the opposite of selfishness. This means that if there is love in you, there will be no selfishness. So if I realize that I'm struggling with selfishness, for example, then I start to say things like, the love of God is shed abroad in my heart. I walk in love today. I love my prospects. I love my clients. I love what I do. I'll have a lot of love in my communication. Because you realize that if you love the prospects and you are genuinely concerned about the prospects, you would be willing to ignore this self-doubt and this rejection so you can get to the prospects. Think about the fact that imagine if you see somebody suffering, you hear about somebody in the news going through so much. Maybe you heard about somebody who had, for example, I saw in the news about a lady who had her hand amputated and she had lost both parents. Imagine if you saw something like that and you said to yourself that, what? And you came across her, for example, and you said, wow, and she told you that she had lost her parents and she had been amputated and nobody to even pay her bills. Wow, and you were so touched by it. Oh, and you had the resources to pay. Or you had a group of friends who you could talk to put together the money with you to assist this young child. Would you say fear of rejection and self-doubt? There will be no fear of rejection and self-doubt. Why? Because love is at work. Compassion for others is at work. When you sell, you must sell with these eyes. When I see a prospect, his hands will not be amputated. He will not have lost his parents. But you never can tell how far your products or service will go to change this prospect's life. And when you see that, so you see, the power of love is that you have the ability to see. Humans, we can look at the unseen. For example, look at this house I'm living in right now. 2 floors. There's a foundation that's holding this house up. We can't see this foundation. But you know that if you had 3, 4 more, 5 floors, this house will crumble. Because the foundation is built for just 2 floors. So the real thing that is holding this house is something that can't be seen, which is the foundation. I want to take care of that foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to continue on this series tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's session. Please remember to like, subscribe, share this video with others, and please watch this next video here. It's be a great blessing to you. Remember, if you want us to work with you, our details are in the description so that you can reach out to us to work with your sales team. Talk to you soon.